Hey there, good morning. Welcome to the JeepSolid Garage. So today I'm going to be showing you guys how to replace the clutch on my Project Jeep 1992 Jeep Wrangler YJ. And this video is sponsored by South Bend Clutch. They gave me a very high quality clutch to put into this Jeep. That is going to be just awesome. Their website is linked in the description below. One thing I love about this company, it's 4th generation, family owned, US based in Mishawaka. They're in Indiana. This kit from South Bend Clutch has everything I need in it. A new clutch disc, pressure plate, throwout bearing, everything I need to do this project. So in one of my previous videos, I take you guys through the process of removing the transmission. So we've got that all out, so now the clutch is accessible. So be sure to check out that video if you need help getting to this point. Now, there's actually a few precautions we are going to take because this is out of a 1992 Jeep Wrangler YJ. It's an older vehicle with quite a few miles. Oh, that's another question. People ask, how do you know when your clutch is worn out? Well, you know, just your mileage and usage. So this has, what, 160, 170,000 miles on it. It's a 92, it's been driven a lot. Depending how hard you're driving it, it'll wear your clutch out. I know that the clutch disc on this is just wiped out because I did an engine rebuild on it and I saw the clutch at that time. Should have replaced it then, but I wanted to make this video for you guys. The other thing, if you get some shudder when you release your clutch and you're taking off, that's a sign that your clutch is wearing out. Another thing is, if you push your clutch like halfway down, the clutch pedal halfway down, it should release the clutch. If it doesn't, that's a sign of a clutch that's wearing out. Or if you're getting slippage in between your gears, difficulty shifting, there's a lot of different things. Now, some of the precautions we're going to take, I'm going to wear gloves. I'm actually going to wear a mask and goggles because I really don't know anything about this clutch. It's an older clutch, and a lot of older clutches and clutches made in other countries can have asbestos in them. So we're going to treat this clutch disc as if it's made with asbestos. So you don't want to be spraying it with any compressed air. This one's actually already pretty clean because I've had it out when I did the engine rebuild. But you don't want to spray compressed air in there, obviously stirring things up. If yours is particularly dirty, dusty, you know, it's a good idea. You can take some degreaser. I actually have some other foaming degreaser, which I really like. You can spray it down. I've got a little drip pan down here. You can spray it down, just kind of get it moist. You don't want any dust particles flying around. And I've got an egg carton here. I like to keep all my nuts and bolts in order. Just gonna wedge a screwdriver in there to stop it from spinning. And there we go, our old pressure plate and disc. And when you assemble your new one, you'll see your disc has a flywheel side and pressure plate side. And this pressure plate is very worn. And some of that's from me spraying it, but there's like discoloration. It's pretty smooth, but definitely needs to be replaced. All the fingers in here, actually, none of them are out of shape, but still in need of replacement. This disc, this clutch disc, it is completely worn out. A lot of these rivets have like, what, a millimeter left maybe. So close to scraping on the flywheel. And same thing with the flywheel. We're gonna treat it like it's covered with a bunch of nasty asbestos dust. The flywheel is heavy. Be careful as you're unbolting it. Speaking from experience, I dropped it on my finger. Hurt like a bugger. Oh, did you guys see that? The flywheel dropped right on my finger. Yeah, that's from my finger right there. As soon as it happened, I was like, oh, raised my finger up and blood's just like drip, 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 drip. Ah! Am I dead? Huh. My impact driver died. Well, this is just turning into a pain. Oh, come on. Alrighty. Took a break, had some lunch, and charged my impact driver because this makes it so much easier. And yes, be very careful, don't drop it. Oh, just like that. So on my flywheel here, you can feel a bit of a ridge here on the sides. Then you can also see this pink mark here. This is where I kept it lined up with the pressure plate, because I reused the same pressure plate on this flywheel. You want to keep them in alignment if you're reusing the same one. Not worried about it this time because we're replacing the whole thing. And through the magic of video editing, we will run this flywheel down to the machine shop and get it resurfaced. But while we're waiting for that, we'll go ahead and remove the pilot bearing on this. All right, got my new pilot bearing here. So let's install that real quick. And the little pilot bearing has an O-ring. We're going to have that on the back side here towards me. And hey, look at that! The flywheel is back from the machine shop. Looks as good as new. Now, fortunately, the flywheel only fits on one way. The bolt pattern is slightly offset. Do not drop it on your finger, as I did in one of my previous videos. Oh my goodness. I'm getting my fingers all over this, so I'm going to have to spray it off again. But I'm just really nervous about dropping it because it hurts so bad. And it goes right there. Let's get some bolts in it. Yeah, it is not fun to drop this on your hand. I absolutely crushed one of my fingers. Blood squirted out, the whole works. I'll be sure to link that video so you guys can see it. Good times. Could feel my heartbeat in my finger. And we're going to torque them to 105 foot-pounds. So now the clutch disc is going to go on like this, with this side out, the wider side out, as opposed to that side. We want that thinner side towards the flywheel. So our alignment tool is in the flywheel there, so your disc is lined up straight, and our pressure plate goes on just like that. Get a couple of these bolts in finger tight. When we tighten them down, we're going to do it like in a star pattern. Now it's critically important that you get your clutch disc alignment tool right in the center. So this is going into the crankshaft there. We want to make sure that it's centered right in the middle of the fingers here. If it gets off-centered, which you can do, you're going to run into trouble trying to get your transmission in. So make sure it's exactly in the middle. And you can also kind of feel on the outer edges here that the disc is lined up in the middle evenly all around. You can torque these guys to 40 foot-pounds, and we're going to alternate in a star pattern as well, or alternating sides, so that it tightens down evenly. Go ahead and pull out the clutch disc alignment tool. And there we go, flywheel, pressure plate, clutch disc, all assembled. Looks great. What are you doing over there?
Watching.
All right. What are we working on?
I don't know.
What are we working on? What was I saying?
Something about a flywheel?
That's right, and started with a C, clutch.
Clutch.
Now we can turn our attention towards the transmission side, and we'll replace the throwout bearing here. So I actually have to go visit a family member in the hospital, so catch me in my next video right up here, and this will all be part of a video series on replacing the clutch, putting the new transmission in, the throwout bearing, so check that out in the description below. Let's try this left-handed. That'll work.